The New York Times is remembering Clive Davis with a look at 11 essential songs he shepherded throughout his legendary career, and it's a fitting tribute to a man who changed the sound of American music. Clive Davis died on Monday at the age of 94. If that name doesn't immediately ring a bell, the music he helped shape almost certainly will. Davis ran Columbia Records, then Arista, then J Records, and across those decades at the helm, he had an extraordinary knack for one thing above all else: finding a hit. What makes his story so remarkable is where he started. Davis was a Brooklyn kid who worked his way into Harvard Law School. He had zero musical training. Zero. He became president of Columbia Records not because he was a musician or a producer, but because he was sharp, curious, and relentless about learning. As Elektra Records founder Jack Halsman put it in his memoir, he had never seen an attorney take so naturally to the music business. The turning point came in June 1967, at the Monterey Pop Festival, that iconic gathering of the counterculture, ground zero for psychedelic rock. And there was Clive Davis, easy to pick out of the crowd, khakis, tennis sweater, walking the fairgrounds with a transistor radio tuned to top 40. A square in a sea of hippies. But he was paying attention. When he saw Janis Joplin perform, he signed her on the spot, his very first signing at Columbia. From there, Davis built a roster that was genuinely eclectic. Patti Smith, Gil Scott-Heron, Anthony Braxton, The Outlaws. He was a consistent champion of R&B artists. But make no mistake, his true passion was the hit record, particularly the ones he had a hand in shaping. Critics sometimes pushed back on that, arguing he imposed his middle-of-the-road sensibilities on artists. But results are hard to argue with. Davis didn't write music, didn't play an instrument, and yet he functioned as what the Times calls an auteur, because he could simply hear what would connect with an audience before almost anyone else could. At 94, Clive Davis leaves behind a catalog that spans generations, and a model for what it means to lead in the music industry with instinct, hunger, and an ear always tuned to the next big thing. I'm your host, thanks for listening.